So the backlogs will be very soon. I will bring out the lectures. Okay. So I have asked these two questions that you should write and send it to on this mail ID. And second thing, you should read. If you do not know about these questions, then you should read the landform chapter 5 from class 11th geography. And at the same time, I will ask you to answer the second questions, and that you need to find out yourself. Okay, I will provide the details later on. So the first question asked, describe the characteristics and types of primary rocks, and it's from static portion. So you should remember it and you should read it time and again. Okay. And it's basically from NCERT or GC Leong. Then the second question is explore and evaluate the impact of work from home on family relationships. So this one is from newspapers. Okay. So if you are reading newspaper regularly, particularly the opinion or editorial page, so you can answer it in easily. Okay. You should have at least 6-8 points to write. Okay. And this is your home assignment, class 6 geography from chapter 1 to chapter 6, only 40 pages. Now, this one is previous year question. If you will see the 2020 prelims paper, so there has been many questions from particularly this environment section. And in the environment section, you will find the questions related to national park, wildlife. So you need to focus on these aspects, okay? And particularly in detail. So if you will see this question, which of the following protected areas are located in the Kaveri Basin? So you should know the geographical location of the national park, and particularly related to river, mountains, or some sort of specifications. Let us say some park had Phumdi, you must have heard. So you should remember it, okay? So which park has some unique features particularly, okay? So because UPSC is not going to ask direct question that this park is from this state or this area, okay? So which of the following protected areas are located in the Kaveri Basin? So except Papikonda, all three options are correct here. Okay, this one is from 2020 prelims paper. So Nagarhole National Park, Satyamangalam Tiger Reserve, and Wayanad Wildlife Sanctuary. These three are located in the Kaveri Basin. Okay, Papikonda is in Andhra Pradesh, but you need to check it yourself also. Okay, and see the 2020 prelims paper. So among the following tiger reserves, which one has the largest area under critical tiger habitat? So critical tiger habitat is basically core area. And you can see from this question that how much details sometimes UPSC used to ask. Okay. So this one is again Nagarjun Sagar, Sri Sailam, C. Option C is correct. Now about Iran, there has been news. So there might be questions in prelims, particularly related to places in news. So do not confuse by this name, this Tajris Square. It's placed in Tehran, Iran, not in China. So Tiananmen Square. Okay. So what happened in Iran? Protest triggered by the arrest and death of Mahsa Amini, and she was 22 years old and a Kurdish origin Iranian woman. So she was arrested because of violating the country's strict female dress code, and right now the Iran is ruled by the ultra-conservative individual. So, and after 3 days of arrest, she died there, and the protest erupted. And this protest is women-led protest, which was labeled by the authority as riots. Okay. So there is morality police in Iran, and earlier it was, in fact, not earlier, even today also in Saudi Arabia it was there. But in Saudi Arabia, it has been sidelined because of the kingdom tried to show that they are taking the steps towards liberalism. So the morality police abolished in Iran following 2 months of protest, and this morality police is formerly known as Gasht-e-Arsad or Guidance Patrol. It was established primarily with the objective to spread the culture of modesty and hijab. Okay, and it began patrols in 2006. Actually, what happened in post 1979 revolution in Iran? So after 4 years, they made it mandatory to wear hijab for women. Okay. So earlier, even this morality police, they issue warnings. So that's why it is said that there is slippery slope. So if we allow the conservative or some sorts of dictatorial tendency by the leaders, let us say if we see even in Indian context, this Romeo squad or something, or maybe in the days to come, if we will allow those kind of things in our personal relationship, then there is chances that we might slip into these kind of things. So earlier, even there also Iran, there is no forced wearing of hijab, and the even the morality police officers, they used to issue warnings only, and they after just 15 years ago they have started crackdown and arrest of women. Okay. So the clothing norm changed under the moderate president Hassan Rouhani, who was the president earlier, but the successor is the ultra conservative, so he has enforced this headscarf law. Now G20, you should remember, it's very important for men's as well as prelims. Okay, there has been questions in 2020 prelims also and earlier also. So you should remember the countries member of this G20 group. Okay, so India assumed the G20 presidency officially on 1st December 2022, and the next G20 leaders summit at the level of state or government is scheduled to be held on September 9 and 10, 2023 in New Delhi. So you should remember it. Okay. So, and after India, this Brazil will take over in 2024, and then South Africa in 2025. And prior to India, Indonesia was the president of G20. Okay. And even prior to that, Italy was the president. So the G20 consists of two parallel tracks. You should remember the first one is the finance track, which was led by the finance ministers and central bank governors. And the second one is the Sherpa track. So Indian G20 Sherpa is Amitabh Kant. You should remember his name. Okay. Now G20 presidency theme is of Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam, one earth, one family, one future, and the vision of an all of government approach. This one also you need to remember. There might be one liner in prelims also. And actually G20 is very important. So we will read it in detail, and whenever the news will come, I will write more and more. Okay. And on my website also, I will detail it slowly. And we'll provide short notes of 4-5 pages and on my Telegram channel also. Okay. So G20 or Group of 20, this is intergovernmental forum of the world's major developed and developing countries. And the country name, I have arranged it is as per continent wise. Okay, so you can see Argentina and Brazil. Okay, these are Latin American countries, South America. Then Canada, Mexico, USA. These three countries, North America. Okay. Then this France, Germany, Italy, Turkey, UK, EU. EU is also part of this G20 group. Then South Africa is from African continent, and then India, Indonesia, Japan, the Republic of Korea, that is South Korea, Russia, Saudi Arabia, China, and then Australia. Okay, so these 20 country name you should remember it. Yeah. Countries as well as this organization EU, you should remember it. Okay. Now, what are those major challenges before the global economy that was going to be discussed at the first Sherpa meeting? Okay, so rising global debt and loss of employment, runaway inflation, and the slowdown in the growth. And the first discussion is going to be held at Udaipur. Okay, so that is the first official G20 event. And the discussion focus is on looking beyond the crisis. Why Udaipur? But as officials say that they because of mentally rejuvenating place and spiritually invigorating, whatever experience. And to build new ways, here they are discussing to build new ways for improving livelihood and move towards an inclusive, ambitious, decisive, and action-oriented development strategy. Okay. So meeting the SDG agenda also. So like the first panel discussion is on transforming lives, accelerating implementation of SDG. Okay. So who are Sherpas? Sherpas are personal representative of leaders of member countries at international summits also. So Suresh Prabhu has been Sherpa also at some point of time from India. So there are 13 working groups ranging from energy to health, education, culture. You should see it at least. And two new groups that this one you must remember, two new groups suggested by India and brought to the forefront by the India. So disaster risk and resilience group and a startup 20 engagement group. So this must be remembered by you. Okay. Now there are two reports that I have read actually. So recently it has been come up. So India Inequality Report 2022. Digital Divide by Oxfam India, an NGO. Okay, so women constitute 1/3 of the internet users in India. You should remember it. Okay, this report by this Oxfam India. So that must be remembered. Okay, and then the e-participation index. This one is a survey by United Nations. So you should remember it. Okay, I will provide the details about these reports because sometimes they will ask the details of the report also. But for the time being, you should remember the report by the institutions because that is also important as far as UPSC is concerned. Now, here is air pollution. So I have already said about this in one of my lecture about air quality index. So air quality index between 201 to 300, it's poor category, then very poor, and then severe. So 301 to 400, very poor, and then severe category. So Delhi air 24-hour average air quality index is stood at 407. That means it is in severe category. That's why the Commission for Air Quality Management directed the authorities in the Delhi NCR to ban the non-essential construction work, not the essential, non-essential construction work in the region under stage 3 of the graded response action plan. Now this in the geography section, Mount Semeru volcano erupted in Indonesia. So this volcano is in Java island, Java. Okay, so there are two islands, particularly two major islands as far as Indonesia is concerned. And Indonesia is very significant country for us because it has passed the G20 presidency to us and for many other regions also. So Sumatra is close to us, Java is southern side, and Jakarta, the Indonesia capital, is on Java island. Okay, so that you must remember. This Semeru volcano also you should remember. So Indonesia sits on the Pacific Ring of Fire. You can read it about it from GC Leong also. So what is Pacific Ring of Fire? Where the meeting of continental plates, okay, continent to continent, so causing high volcanic and seismic activity. There has been volcanic eruption earlier also in the strait between Java and the Sumatra in 2018. So that has caused the underwater landslide and tsunami. So volcano also caused tsunami. You should remember it. Indonesia has nearly 130 active volcanoes. Now sports, this one is important news, particularly from sports. So it's about Olympics. So 2022 World Championship, our first qualifying event for the 2024 Paris Olympics. So earlier, the Olympic has been held here in Tokyo. Okay. So here the weightlifting cut from 14. So Tokyo Games has 14 weightlifting games. Now it has been cut to 10. And this event is additional event, not the compulsory one. Yes, you should remember this World Championship 2022 is the additional event, not the compulsory one. And under 2024 Olympic qualification rule, lifter has to compulsorily compete in the 2023 World Championship and the 2024 World Cup. Okay, so these two are compulsory event. Okay, and then they have to participate in 3 of the following. So these events, you should read at least once. Okay. Now about wildlife. So environment, I have written some of the national parks. You should read it yourself also, check it. There are more national parks as far as Madhya Pradesh is concerned. There might be more national parks. So check it yourself also. So Kuno National Park, Kuno Kana Madhav, Ghugwa or Mandla Plant Fossil National Park, Panna National Park, Pench. These all are in Madhya Pradesh. So cheetah imported from Namibia, and there are 5 females and 3 males. So overall 8, and it was imported to this Kuno National Park. Okay. So as per Indian wildlife laws, a month-long quarantine is mandatory before importing animals, and they need to be kept in isolation for another 30 days in order to adopt the local situation. Okay. So the cheetah, as for the cheetah, we should read the history about it. So last cheetah died in India in Korea district of present-day Chhattisgarh in 1947, and in 1952 it was declared extinct. Okay. And former Union Environment Minister Jairam Ramesh, so he was the one who initiated the Project Cheetah in 2009. Okay. So this one is the first intercontinental transfer of wildcats since independence. Okay. And they are housed in Boma, so that is called the small enclosure. And Freddy, Ilton, and Owen, these are the names of these cheetah. They are released right now outside the Bomas. Okay, so you can just read at least once. So radio collared movements tracked, a dedicated tracking team for each animal. These are the caring measures taken for these newly brought wildcats. Okay, so the team which are monitoring, so they are comprised of the wildlife scientist, biologist, and the Lottie Marker. He is a renowned zoologist and founder of Cheetah Conservation Fund, and they are the one who are monitoring the initiative. So cheetah once widespread in India. Why we are bringing cheetah and why it is important? Because it helps in long-term survival of the wildcats. Okay. And Kuno National Park has in fact limited space for cheetah to coexist. If you will see that this park is specifically prepared for tigers and lions. Okay. We have Project Tiger, which was launched in 1973. And at every 4 years, there is tiger census. So tiger population is rising at the rate of 6% per annum. And numbers estimated using photographing animals via camera traps and mathematical analysis. You can see there has been question in prelims about MS strips. So it was related to this tiger census. Okay. So there has been improved conservation measures as well as the new estimation methods that has helped in rising the tiger population. And because of this rising tiger numbers, there is increasing instances of human-animal conflict also. Okay. So how this tiger reserve is created? So under Section 38(5) of the Wildlife Protection Act 1972, State Cabinet authorized the notification. And the other important news I will write on my website. Okay, that is rmupsc.com. At the same time, I will provide you 5 important articles at 9 a.m. in the morning as well as in the 9 p.m. Okay. So in the morning as well as in the evening or night, you can say, there will be, you need to read at least, there is 5 important articles. Okay. So overall 10 articles. I will try 10 or 7 to 10 like that only. Okay. Thank you.